I will always love you, love you, love you, love you, love you.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm joined with Kendall and Kylie, and we're going to be showing you how to do our makeup today. So we're going from this photo right here. We're going to be doing both of them, and you're going to let me know which one you prefer, Kendall or Kylie. Not like actually who do you prefer, Kendall or Kylie, just who makeup, who you prefer that I recreated in this video of us, you know? Yeah, so you just let us know which one you prefer at the end of the video. Just leave it in the comments down below. This feels really weird for Tashie to have this in a side parting because she doesn't usually wear her hair on a side parting, so this feels pretty weird. Yeah. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Just keep watching.
Okay, so we are starting off with Kendall and my bare face. First of all, I'm going to prep my skin with the Becca Skin Love. This is like a glow. I don't really know what it is, if it's a moisture. It's not really a moisturizer, it's just like a glow thing that goes underneath your makeup, and it's so freaking bomb. This was the first time using it, and I think I probably put a bit too much on. It smelt so good. I think I put too much on, but I loved it, and I've used it every day since. For foundation, I'm also taking, this is new for me. I don't think it is a new foundation, but it's new for me. It's the Becca Aqua Luminous Foundation, and this is in the shade Tan. I did order this online, so I was not sure what shade to get, and they only had 4 shades. So I went with Tan, and I actually think it's a pretty perfect colour. It looks dark on my face, but if you actually look at my body, it's like quite tan compared to my face. So it comes in this little pipette thing, so I just put some on, and I was like, damn, that looks dark. But once I blended it out with my damp beauty blender, it totally worked. Probably both of these, to be honest, are probably a little bit too tanned for Kendall and Kylie, but obviously I can only work with what I have, and I can't put like, you know. So yeah, but to me, Kendall looked more bronzed in the photo, so I did try to make Kendall more bronzed than Kylie. For concealer, I'm taking the Rodial. This is the Diamond Concealer. I'm taking it in 2 shades. I think it's number 10 and 20 or 20 and 30. I'll leave it down below. I'm taking obviously the lighter shade first, and then putting some of the darker shade in there as well. I mean, it's not dark, it's just more skin tone, because I find the light one a little bit too light. Then I took a concealer brush first of all, so just because obviously I did dots for the concealer, so I take a concealer brush. I've been doing this a lot recently, just to really shape out where I want the concealer to go and start the blending process, but in quite a precise way. And then once I've got the positioning of where I want it, and it's kind of patted in but not blended out as such, you can see like it is kind of blended in my eyes but not fully. Once I've done that, I go back into my damp beauty blender just to pat it in and remove any excess product and just give it more of a flawless finish to the look. I really like doing this at the moment. Once I've done that, I'm going to be setting it, and I'm taking the Huda Beauty, the baking powders. I'm not a huge fan of baking at all. This is the shade Banana Bread, and I don't really feel like I bake, I just set, kind of, you know. So I did just apply it around my jawline here. They were both pretty glowy-ish. I mean, Kendall was a bit more glowy. So I took it on my laugh lines, which I did kind of bake, and also down the sides of my nose. Kendall's nose is probably thinner than mine, so I just wanted to make sure that was there. And then I just took a fluffy brush to just like kind of spread this underneath my eyes, so it just wasn't too heavy, you know. Then I'm also taking this shade Cinnamon Bun to bronze up my face. A very light hand with this because obviously it is a loose powder, but it's such a nice bronzer shade, as you can see. So nice. I just use this not really to like fully contour, just to bronze up the face. So in a 3 and a little bit on my nose and my jaw, and also down my neck as well. Then I'm taking the Dior, this is like the contour palette, and the Dior contour brush, and I'm taking the darker but cooler toned shade here, just to kind of define my cheekbones a bit more, because she's obviously got like these amazing cheekbones. So I just used it. This stuff is amazing. Like, look at it. Like, just one swipe and it just blended and just was like, whoa, there's my cheekbone. Hello. So I also put it on my jaw. Then taking the highlighter palette from Dior. This is from the Dior Backstage Beauty. First of all, I took the bronze like shimmery bronze shade to just further glow and bronze my face. I loved this palette, so nice, this bronze shade, and the blush, and the I mean, to be honest, all of them were freaking bomb. I just wanted to try and use some new products in this video for you guys, so it wasn't just a boring makeup tutorial. So yeah, I started off with the bronze shade, a bit of the blush shade, and then going in with the actual highlighter shade here, which you can see is super nice, super glowy, and just gave my skin a really nice, fresh, overall glowy, dewy look. I also applied it to the top of my nose and my brow bone. Moving on to eyebrows, I'm taking the Dior Backstage Brow Trio thing and also the Dior Eyebrow Brush. This is in the shade, I think it's dark brown. I absolutely love this. I've been using it on my brows every day. I didn't try to copy their brows exactly, but I did try and make Kendall's a little bit straighter than I do for Kylie's, just because hers are a little bit straighter than Kylie's arch that she has. So I just worked the powder in the middle and the dark shade, and then also used the wax to just set them in place. Moving on to this warm eyeshadow palette, also from that same Dior Backstage. I took the warm orange shade and I just used a eyeshadow brush to just kind of almost put this all over my lid. But I'm using like a more fluffy brush, so it's not too solid, so it's more like a wash of this colour. And I took it underneath the middle of my, like underneath like that bit in the inner corner, like underneath the front of my brow, and then just kind of buffed it out on the edges. No like real defined lines or anything, just literally a wash of colour buffed over the eyelid. I went into a slightly fluffier brush than I had before. Even though it was fluffy, this one's just a bit softer and fluffier, just to make sure it was all buffed out. And then I took a smaller dense brush to apply this under my eyes, because her bit was like, her under eye bit seemed a little bit darker and stronger than the top of her eye. So I used that to kind of almost wing out the underneath. Then taking this middle shade, which is just like a shimmery shade, I just used my finger to pat that onto the eyelid, and then again it just blended it out to make sure everything kind of blended together. Taking the highlight shade again, the lightest one, to highlight my inner corners and also to highlight my brow bone as well. I love highlighting my brow bone, it's one of my favourite things to do. Is that anyone else's favourite thing to do? I just think it looks so cute. Then I went back into the lighter shade of the brow powder, and I used the spoolie to just get some powder to do some freckles on my nose, because she had some freckles on her nose. Then I just took the edge of the brush, like the pointy edge of the angle brush, just to do some more freckles, just dot them all over. I do have loads of tutorials doing faux freckles, so I didn't really go in depth with this, but I basically just position it with brow powder and then pat over with my sponge. Is this the last step? I don't know, but this step is so freaking important. This is the KKW Beauty Brightening Powder in number 3. I absolutely love this stuff. Honestly, the best product in my opinion. Like, it's so freaking good. So I use this to really brighten up underneath my eyes and also down the sides of my nose. It makes such a difference to your face and really just brings light to that area. As you can see, like, it just reflects the light so well and just makes you look so much more fresh and awake. So yeah, definitely a step I wouldn't miss. And then I'm just applying some mascara. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Lashes 2 mascara, but not a lot because I do have lash extensions on right now and you shouldn't apply mascara on lash extensions, but you know, I just couldn't help myself. Moving on to lips, I'm taking the Marc Jacobs. This is the Nudist Liner. Oh my god, my favourite lip liner ever. It's new, but oh my god, I'm so obsessed with it. It's so good. Then I'm taking MAC Honey Love just to kind of pat on top. Yeah, just like kind of patting it on. And that is it. This is the finished look for Kendall. So it's really, really natural look. This is pretty much the kind of look I would do every day. In fact, these both makeups, this is kind of my everyday, and then Kylie's more my nighttime. So with that said, let's move on to Kylie. Starting again with a bare face. This time I'm taking the Huda Beauty primers. It says Mui on the back because one's more like a hydrating, like illuminating primer, which is this one. Smelled so strong, but I love the smell of it. But if you don't like strong smells, you're not going to like it. Then I'm taking the second one, which is a mattifying. So I'm just putting this in, like, you can see where I'm putting it. I'm just dotting it in like my T-zone area and just working that in because that is the areas I tend to get a bit too dewy. So I'm just patting that in. So that is our face primed. Moving on to foundation, I'm taking the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. They recently sent me a ton, I mean like the whole collection of shades. So I pulled out the 4 that I thought would match me best, and I just swatched them on the side of my face so I could see which one they were. They've just come out, I don't know if they've actually changed the formula or if they've just brought out new shades for like darker skin tones and lighter skin tones, but I forgot how much I love this foundation, or if they've changed it, it's freaking amazing. I love it. So I decided to mix two together, which was honey and golden, and I took this Dior foundation brush to buff this over my face. Honestly guys, you know me, I haven't worn like a actual full coverage foundation in so long. Like I wear more like tinted moisturizers or BB creams, so when I put this on I was like, damn, I forgot what this looked like, and I was like, I love how this looks. So I think I'm going to be using this foundation more often. So I buff it in with that brush, but the brush I just didn't feel like quite did the job, so I did go over with my beauty blender. Then taking the Born This Way Too Faced concealers, I'm taking the shade, I think it's Light Sand, to highlight, and I'm also taking this contour shade as well. I will leave it down below. I think it's called Walnut maybe, but I'll leave it down below because I can't remember the shade right now. And I'm using that to contour. I felt like Kylie just is more makeup to me, so she would have a cream contour on in my opinion. So I used my beauty blender to blend this out, and it worked so well. Like obviously this is a lot of makeup. We've just gone in with pretty full coverage foundation, and now we're basically covering our face in concealer as well. So this is a lot of makeup, but I do feel like in the end it doesn't look cakey at all, and I actually kind of loved how it turned out. So yeah, I'm just patting it in with my beauty blender just to make sure everything's blended together. Just going in between the pointy sides to clean out the contour, and then the butt sides, and I was like, whoa, this is full coverage, jeez. So then I'm going in with this translucent setting powder by Terry on that same small fluffy brush I used before, patting out any creases and then just setting quite lightly under the eyes and also on my eyelids as well, ready for eyeshadow, and also just like the areas that I need to, like my chin and my laugh lines. Then for bronzer, I'm taking the Anastasia Sable? Is it called Sable? Yeah. And I'm taking this super large Dior powder brush to just bronze up my face and basically set the contour area, but keeping it bronzy, not too cool toned. Down my neck, down my chin. And then I'm going to be baking underneath the contour with banana bread from Huda Beauty. So then I'm taking this blusher by Sharp. Well, it's super pigmented, so just tap off that excess, girl. And I'm just applying this. We know, if you've watched any of Kylie's makeup things that she's done, she loves blush. Girl loves blush, she loves the blush. So I went ham with the blush. Then for highlight, I'm taking Anastasia, the Arm Resi one. And I'm just using a duo fibre brush to lightly, well, not really very lightly at all, is it? But just contour, highlight my cheekbones and underneath my brows. Then I'm dusting off my baking. And I freaking loved the underneath the contour baking. I've never done that before. Look at it, so cut. Moving on to eyebrows, I'm taking the Radial eyebrow pencil in dark ash brown because Kylie's eyebrows are a lot more Instagram, you know, like a bit more. So with the pencil you can be a little bit more precise, and I did try and keep that arch. I feel like her eyebrows are actually quite similar to shapes in my natural eyebrows, so I pretty much just followed my natural eyebrow shape with more of an arch, because when I fill in my eyebrows I usually make them straighter. So I just filled them in with that, and then I cleaned them up with concealer, which I never do. Just a tiny bit of the same concealer we use for our face, the Too Faced Born This Way one. But yeah, really small amount, just to clean them up and make them look sharp. Going back into the bronzer, I'm working this onto my eyelid and crease. Kind of the same as the Kendall one, like a wash of colour. Because to be honest, their makeups were very similar, but just Kylie's was more, in my opinion, more nighttime. Kendall's is what I'd wear in the day, Kylie's is more what I'd wear at nighttime. So then I went into the Dior contour powder and I took the darkest bronze shade just to deepen up the contour of the eye, like the crease area, just like deepen it up a tiny bit so it did look darker than Kendall's, and just work that into the outer corner as well, and taking it all the way into under the eyebrow, as you can see here. This worked really well, and I think I might even wear this like on a night out coming up, because it's kind of look I do anyway, but I really like how this came out. Then I'm going into the Huda Beauty palette. This is the Rose Gold, the new one, but only because it's got a really good black in it, but any black eyeshadow is fine. And I took a flat, like, eyeliner brush almost, like a flat, what's this called? Like this, you know, like a flat brush. And I literally just used the brush to pat in and push the black liner into my lashes and then create a wing that I'm going to kind of diffuse out. Make sure you've really got that black all in those lashes and then just wing it out. and then just kind of work over it and just kind of push it up a bit. So it's still there, it's still defined as you can see, but it's just got like a diffused edge. I freaking love this. This is like the best technique in my opinion for winged out like look if you're not into actually a winged liner, and also it's super easy to do. I went back into the Anastasia bronzer just to put a tiny bit underneath my eyes. Not too much because she didn't have loads, but just a little bit underneath there. And then I also tightlined with the Urban Decay Whiskey liner, just a brown liner just to keep it a little bit softer so it wasn't too harsh. Then again, highlighted my brow bone with that highlighter from Anastasia and Rosie. I also did the same thing, applied a small amount of the Charlotte Tilbury mascara. You probably should have worn lashes for this look as well, but I just didn't want to because I've got extensions on. Going in with the same Marc Jacobs Nudist liner, first of all, filling in my lips with that, and then I'm taking the Kylie Cosmetics Coconut liner, and I'm using this to just kind of darken up the outside of my lip. I went in with more blush because I feel like that is what she would do. I was trying to channel her, and I feel like she would go in with more blush, so I went in with more blush, and I actually really liked the blush. And back into that favourite product of mine, the KKW Beauty No. 3 brightening powder to just really brighten up my eyes. And you can see, like, I'm going to do one eye so you can see the difference. And I also used it to clean up the outer corner, but look at the difference. Seriously, can you see that? I think hopefully you can see that. It makes a massive difference in my opinion. And then that is the finished look for Kylie. I just pinned my hair at the back to make it look short because I've obviously got short layers around the front. So I made it look like my hair was short, even though obviously you guys know it's not, but let me know if I should cut my hair short.
Okay, so this is the finished look, guys. Really hope you liked it. Let us know which one you prefer. And that's everything for this video, so I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys. You look great.